So this is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by legendary Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach here in Abu Dhabi. Freddie, how are you enjoying your time here so far?
Abu Dhabi is it's nice. It's a little different. Never been in a place like this in the world, but it's okay.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. You're obviously here for a huge fight between your fighter Shavkat Rakhimov and Zelfa Barrett, substitute opponent, although he has had quite a bit of notice this Saturday night. Just first of all, what attracted you originally to working with Shavkat?
You know, he's a hard worker, and people who work hard usually do well, and that's my main thing. Like when someone tells me they might want to be trained by me or help them out and so forth, I just kind of sit back and see what their habits are and see how hard they really work, you know. And then, you know, you tell the guy, go do 3 rounds here, 3 rounds there, 3 rounds there. And then they're skipping rounds talking to other people. I go the other way. I mean, I need guys that want to work hard because that's work hard and good things happen.
And how long does he normally spend with you in camp once he comes over to the US?
Usually about 8 weeks. Our training camps are usually 8 weeks for everybody, and you know sometimes it's a little give and take towards if you have to travel and so forth. Like this fight, we had to travel and make get acclimated, and we came a little bit longer than usual.
Now, you've trained some of the finest fighters, both of this generation and the previous one. Does Shavkat share any qualities with any of those guys you've trained in the past?
You know, he's a good fighter, and he puts things together well. He listens. You know, the thing is, if they're not going to do that, I'm not going to train them. You know, it's pretty simple. He listens. He does it well. He has power in both hands when he wants to, and so. And we watch his opponent enough to get a good game plan. We all know my team knows the game plan, and he knows it.
Now, you mentioned the opponent there. Obviously, there was an opponent change from Joe Cordina after he broke his hand to Zelfa Barrett. How did the training plan and the sparring change once the opponent changed?
Not too much. You know, we're going in there with good fighters, but they're both good fighters, and I don't see a huge difference in both of them. But you know, we just had to make a couple of small adjustments for what they do. They have habits doing.
Now, it's the IBF have declared that whoever wins will have to defend against Cordina, the former champion. What do you make of that as a challenge? Is that something you relish for Shavkat after this fight?
You know, he broke his hand. We can't blame anybody. That is something that happens in boxing. Does he deserve to get the winner? Probably, yeah. And we look forward to that.
Good stuff. Now, just a bit more generally, just tell us the story. I know you've already told me this off camera, of how you became a trainer initially under the legendary Eddie Futch.
Yeah. When I first retired from boxing, I just didn't really know what I wanted to do, and just kind of roaming around here and there, and probably getting in trouble if I could. but you know, then I after about a year, I said I better get back to work. I spent all my money. So you know, I went to the gym and talked to Eddie Futch, my trainer, and I asked Eddie if I could be his assistant or one of his assistants, and he said, yeah, sure. And I worked for Eddie for 5 years. I learned a lot in that 5 years, and it was really good for me. And a lot of people say, well, how much money did they pay you? Everyone wants to know how much they paid me. They didn't pay me fucking nothing. I didn't ask for money because I was there to get knowledge, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I got.
And I know you're very modest, so you might find this question more difficult to answer. But what makes you such a great trainer? I mean, everyone says you're a great trainer. It's not you saying it about yourself. But what are the qualities you have that make you a great trainer?
It's just you've got to pick and choose what styles you're gonna go with the different type of fighters, because everyone in the world is so different. It is not like two that are all the same, and so it's I think I can pick out their best style and what they do best, and I study these guys that I train a lot, and then I go into the fight and bring out their best. And Eddie Futch was really he taught me really well. He was a good trainer, but the thing is, he was my trainer for 10 years. But the thing is, I got more out of him in that last 5 years than any time, because this was a different section. This wasn't like I was one of his boxers. This was now I'm one of his assistants, and he was very good to me. And he was a little upset when after 5 years, I told him it was time to move on and be on my own. And I thought I had learned enough to do that. And he was mad at me for a couple of years, but finally everything settled down, and he congratulated me for being a good trainer.
I'm sure he'd be incredibly proud of what you've achieved since he passed as well. What have been, and it's going to be hard because there's so many, but what have been the proudest moments of your training career so far?
The proudest moments are they're not really in a fight, they're in the gym, because when they can do something and they do it, and it's something I taught them, I know I taught them, and it's like being a good counterpuncher. Not everybody in the world can be a counterpuncher, though. So you've got to put that in your fucking head, because if you try to change people, it doesn't work. Change is difficult and usually doesn't end up good. So I picked the style to teach these guys that works for them, and I think I teach everyone as an individual. Everyone's different. Nobody's from James Toney to Muhammad Ali. There's a difference there, and so you've got to see that and make those adjustments. And I think I do that well. And I think that might be the best thing I do, because I see a lot.
And this might be a tougher one given how successful you've been, but are there any regrets?
Some regrets in my life. That year off was a regret. I wish I did, but I think I'm not the nicest guy in the world sometimes, and that year I wasn't so much a nice guy, and I do have a mean streak in me, and sometimes I'm in a bad mood, and when I get in a bad mood, Marie's the only one that can get me out of it usually, but she told me, settle down, don't be mad, because when I get mad, things get out of hand and stuff like this, but the work still goes, the training still goes. There's no mood that's going to take me away from the gym.
And just finally, you've achieved so much already, but are there still goals that you want to achieve? Are there still boxes you want to tick?
Definitely. I want world champions all the time. I want more and more and more. And and we're right in the middle of it here, because the winner is going to be a world champion and fight the best guy out there. And I love fighting the best guys out there, because that's what boxing's all about.
And just one last thing, what does training mean to you, training fighters? Because I don't think you're ever going to retire. You might correct me on that. But it just seems like you love it, you live it, you love it. What is it about it that you can't walk away from? You love it so much.
Training, it was like I said, when I learned from Eddie as a trainer by being one of his students, being one of his students was okay and stuff like that, but being one of his trainers was so much better. I learned so much in those 5 years that I became a much better trainer than I was a fighter. And not everyone can be a great fighter, not everyone can be a great trainer. But the thing is, I know which one I do better at, and the thing is, I know I'm a better trainer than fighter. And I don't bring my style into the game that often because I don't want guys fighting like I did, because I didn't fight. I fought recklessly. I didn't have a game plan.
Brilliant. Freddie, it's been an absolute pleasure, and look forward to seeing you in action in the corner on fight night.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.